Hello, everybody. Welcome to the roundtable discussion about AOEPL Season 2. There is an auction tonight in less than an hour, and this discussion is about the players, the captains, what could be their strategies. But before we get into that, let's continue from where we left last time. Let me introduce the panel to you first. With us is defending champion captain Valar, his warrior in chief, No Chance, whom we know as No Chance VK. With us also is Said, who was a player in season one but can't play this season, and Legion, who doesn't like to play the low elo
defending
tournament, so
champion
will want
captain
to
Valar.
comment about it.
His
Of course.
So
Ne bol diya.
warrior in chief, No Chance,
He
whom
has
we
not
know
played
as
in both the
No
tournaments.
Chance
So that's
VK.
what the audience
With us
believe.
also is
So let's
Said.
start with season one. Valar, what do you, as a champion, defending champion, how do you see the start of this season? And Valar has chosen Morty as his warrior to defend the title for Delhi Demos this year. Valar, over to you.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having us here. First of all, I would say definitely looking forward to this season. Last season was definitely a blast and gonna be fun, I believe. And coming back to choosing Morty as Delhi Demos leader or captain, it was a bit doubtful, but let's see how it goes. And another thing, maybe Legion was not part of the tournament officially, but he did help all the teams, I believe, in the background.
That's sure.
So yeah,
That
thanks for
that
that,
I, that
Legion.
I'm sure. Which is why his inputs are very important.
No, no,
Yeah.
I was
I
playing
agree.
favorites. I only had two teams. Don't worry about that.
So
All right.
VK, the warrior in chief for Delhi Demos. Who do you think will
Yes.
take your role this time for Morty?
I don't know. It's actually hard to say, right? After the auction, we will know.
But
But
who do
I
you
mean,
think
I
Morty will
have,
go for?
I don't know. But I mean, I'm really backing Red Viper, obviously. I mean,
So you
he
want
has
to
been my
see Red
chuddy buddy
Viper?
for a very long time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see if, I mean, who picks him. And I think if captains are listening, I would recommend them to bid hard on him. He knows the game pretty well. Water is also there, who is also like our very good friend. Link, by the way, Link Chaos is also like a very, very, very strong player. He's 1v1 2K also. So yeah. Yeah, what Ramoji?
No, I am
Yeah.
just muting.
Nah,
So I
that,
guess
I
there
guess.
are a few. I think the only big concern that I have compared to the season one is there aren't that many mid elo players in this tournament.
Yeah.
So I felt that so the games will be more speedrun heavy, and I particularly don't like that as much. Like
So
the people at the top are like very good, and there are a lot of people at the bottom. For example, players at the level of Bose talent were there last time and they are not in this time. So I kind of worry that that might make some games not very interesting. Like they'll just be very speedrun heavy.
so which is where a couple of changes has happened this time. By the way, the average elo remains the same, which is why the purse is the same. Maybe because of Adu and couple of other players. Because last time 2K was the limit, and this time there are few players above 2K also. But the important point is the game has improved a lot for a lot of people, which is not reflected in the elo. For the audience, while we will go into the auction, for those who don't know, there's some changes on the map pool. Before we get into that, first words from Said, who played with Levy last time, and Levy is a captain this time. From experience last time, Said, what's your suggestion to Levy as a captain this time? To go for gravity or not to go for gravity? First question.
I mean, every captain has their own strategy, right? I felt like last time around, Livy did underperform. He has much more potential, so let's see how he does this time around, I guess.
Okay. Legion, you supported two captains last time with their strategies and followed them. There are eight captains this time. Among the captains, who you think is the sharpest, shrewdest when it comes to auctions?
Hmm.
So I only had very limited experience with some of the captains. I think Sultan is probably having a good scope out on all the players who signed up, and I'm sure he's getting some strategy in. Dead Cops, I know last time was he was actually trying for the tournament, so I'm hoping he'll be somewhat prepared as well. Good friends with Morty and Fender. I know Fender at least has been putting a lot of effort into sort of categorizing the players who've signed up, trying to like look at their strengths and weaknesses. So I'm somewhat optimistic for his picks as well.
Got it. So I will very briefly talk about the map pool and discuss that. Then we'll go to the player list to do some discussion on that. Is it fine with everybody? Cool. So the map pool is already shared. There are 5 categories with 3 maps in each of them, and one map has been picked from each of the categories along with hideout and mega random to form the common map pool of 7. In total, there will be 12 games, 12 sets of games across the 2 groups of 4 each. So each map in the common map pool can be repeated only twice, which means if a map A comes twice already in common map pool because of the wheel, it will go out of the wheel for the third match. So which means any of the common map pool will be played twice at max, and with 5 of them will probably play 12 and 2 of them will be played once. They have been picked by the admin with each category based on the popularity on the Bombay server. So coming to map pool, we have decreased the number of maps. We have added couple of maps. VK, what's your first view on the map pool with the player quality?
I think adding Team Acropolis is amazing. First of all, I really like it. Apart from that, okay. So for closed maps, we have arena. I mean, to be honest, I like the map pool. I do feel that removing migration is not a good idea because migration was a very fun strategy and build order oriented map, which means that even a lower elo player could execute his role pretty well. I don't like Regicide Fortress as much because it involves team sniping, and I have had some very traumatic past experiences with it. But I think all in all, the map pool is pretty good this time, and also keeping lowering the number of different maps is actually very helpful because then people can actually just focus on preparing a few of them rather than putting their hands too much. And also, so for example, last time when we were playing, we had this thing, right, that your home map for each series can only be among like one category. So if you choose that category, it's gone. In the next series, you have to choose a different one.
It's also the same this time also, by the way.
Yeah,
That rule is
exactly.
the
So,
same.
I think that is pretty good because then that gives you an incentive to sort of prepare different styles of maps, and you then it also adds a strategic role. For example, me and Valar had discussed this. Like we like to play open map, but we don't want to play open map against agent, right? So it's kind of very interesting how this dynamic plays into the map pool and into the tournament. Like I enjoyed quite a lot.
Yeah. So the aim is to add a strategy angle with the elo angle so that the best combination wins rather than just the elo. So that's the whole idea of admin. And we took the feedback from last time that the number of maps needs to be curtailed. So we brought it down to one. Coming to migration, migration for us was replaced by Arena Island. So between the last tournament and this time, Team Acropolis and Arena Island have been played a lot more on the server for us to get it replaced. So the idea was the reason we replaced. So there was a lot of talk that why Team Island was not replaced with and why migration, because migration is both land plus water. You start with water and then land comes into the picture. Similar is the strategy in Arena Island, that you start, you have to win the water, but ultimately you have to win the land too. So from that perspective, we thought it's a one, but yes, feedback well received for future. Valar, which map do you well fought? And coming to the last thing, why Registered Fortress? I think we had couple of the by far the longest games.
in Registration podcast last time. So it makes sense to have it. So Valar, coming back to my question, which map do you think will be fiercely fought this time?
Fiercely fought, let's say. I think it would be Team Acropolis. So all the times that we have played in our Bombay server, it has been random saves, no strategies at all. But when it comes to strategizing this map, like I think it can get really interesting. So I think I would go with Team Acropolis for sure.
Legion, pick save Team Ecopolis. What should be a good strategy for the captains?
I think the like interesting thing about Team Macro is that you have like I would say roughly three distinct types of strategy that can be employed here. Like one the standard thing maybe is just like one or two people go scouts, one person goes FC unique unit, and then you have like one person going crossbow or cav archers, something like that. Something we saw like Team India use in Nations Cup last time, in the previous Nations Cup was like all aggression in feudal age. Someone goes man at arm stars, they pick Saracens, two people going forward archer ranges, and one person going unique unit. I think that's also very viable in a scenario where we have like mixed elos and maybe some people who are not very experienced in it.
So,
The other
so
strategy, sorry, go on.
yeah, so you mean that Team Ecopolis with pick save may be more aggressive rather than boom because typically random ship ends up being a slightly boomy kind of a situation on Bombay
Right.
server.
Traditionally, we think of it as a boomy map, but there is very serious potential for aggression. And if teams prepare for it, then that can be quite dangerous.
True. Said, coming back to you, uh, which map do you think you you will pick for someone now? Said for the audience, Said probably is one of the most improved player from last time in terms of Bombay Elo. Last time when we played, he was sub 1000 if my memory serves right, and today he's 1400 plus. That's a very good jump. So Sid, with so many matches, you from being a low elo to a mid elo player, which map do you think broadly brings the comfort out of the people on Bombay server?
I mean, at least for low elo players, close maps is a little bit more preferable, right? Because you get to get through the feudal age aggression without that, right? So I would prefer arena for low elo players. Maps like Oasis and other maps like Regicide Fortress could also bring in the comfort. I am more keen to see how the strats on Arena Island will come out because that's a very snowbally map. But in terms of preferences, at least for lower and mid elo players, Arena would be a good choice I would go for.
Fair point.
Bond would
Allow me to,
agree.
yeah, yeah. So
And Bond would
that's
agree,
my
right?
favorite map. I think everybody knows that. For the audience,
Yeah.
I'm a very low elo player, and like said, low elo players love Arena with those save walls. But it's not about me, guys. Let me share the player list with you guys now so that we can get to discuss some the hot players out there. Just give me 1 second as I share the Google sheet, which is the bidding sheet also. Is it clear to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
let's start with
Yes.
tier one. As we can see, tier one has 9 players, starting from Addu, with Link being the last. Again, for the benefit of the audience, the the ELO is been the base auction price starts at 60% of their ELO on the date of the announcement of the tournament, and 25% is if they get unsold in the first half and come back later. No player can be taken at a price below the 25% of base price. Well, you would have played with all the players here. In tier one, I know Addu, he is league apart. Among others, do you see the fact that the gap between them is not much? Is it fair to say that?
Uh, Actually, if you see, base price gap might not be a lot, but
Hmm.
their elos that were taken for the announcement or for the ratings, it's actually quite huge, right? Water is around 2200, 2300, while Link, I would say, is 1700 in Bombay lobby as of now.
Yeah. Yes.
But I would say like the skill difference is not as much as it seems in the ratings.
Yeah, so I was meaning that only that while Addu is way apart from others, all will probably cluster together in the same bracket broadly, the other eight. So VK,
Thanks.
Yes.
coming to you, obviously Addu will go at an exuberant price. What's your guess of the range at which Addu will go?
I mean, I don't know. To be honest, maybe 2300. Yeah. Like,
2300.
I think last time Hiten went for what? 2200 something or 2300, right?
But Hiten was 2K, Addu is
Yeah.
2800.
Yeah, 2300. Let's go. I will go with that.
So you mean Addu will go at a 20% discount to his Elo?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, I guess. The thing
Okay,
is,
let's do a
the
vote.
elo
Let
doesn't mean
okay,
much,
let
right?
let's start with putting a number for
Yeah.
Addu from all our experts. Legion, first you. VK has said 2300. I've noted that.
I think 2900.
Okay. Valar.
Think somewhere around 2700.
Okay. And Said.
Around 2500, 2600, I would say. 2500 I would
Man.
go for, I guess.
Okay, I am putting my neck out and saying that he will go at least 300, 3000, ideally 3200. So I'll put
But
3100 as a point. Let's see
doesn't
who goes
uh,
right there.
I mean, isn't like doesn't it depend on where he comes in the auction? Like the order highly decides what price he will go for, right? Or
I think
Yes.
it's
don't.
like somewhat. It
So,
can cause
so,
like a variation of a few
so
percent.
there are eight captains. Each of them technically. So let's go there. That's the maximum each of them can bid for a player. This is the number. So it's 3000 for all the captains. So until unless Addu comes at the eighth number or rather the ninth, the last guy, somebody or other will have the purse to go for it. VK.
By the way,
Yeah,
Bon, we don't see the last section of rows,
One
okay?
sec.
Just
Sorry.
letting you know. I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good that you. Look at this. Each of them has 3K plus purse. So until
right.
Addu is eighth or ninth, there'll be at least two people who will be waiting for it.
Right. No, the reason why I say like 2300 is because like okay, so compared to last time versus this time, right? I feel like there are very few captains who themselves are like very good at strategy and drafting, right? And I believe that that is one single-handed preparation thing which more or less decides the entire series.
True.
How you map and sieve draft decides a lot on whether you will win the series or not.
True.
And these, so among all the captains here, right, except Fenrir, maybe I don't know how many other people are really good at this, which means they want their tier A pick to do that for them, right? Agent did that for Aragon's team last time. I did that for Valar's team, and so on and so forth. But the thing is, if people buy Addu at that exuberant price, he doesn't. I mean, I don't think that he has the skill set to actually do like map and sieve drafting.
So who will do? If Addu will not do in the auction pool, I
I
think the
mean,
most experienced player among the auction pool this time.
is a
So
is agent.
so yes, agent is there. I agree. So
Yeah,
among the captains of last time, Pintu, Sultan, and Levy are there. So I assume they would have learned something. And Morty and Deadcops also are fairly there. They both have experience of Battle of Maharaja and other tournaments. Not of the same level, but yes. So I
so
think fairly the and four plays a lot of tournament 1v1 where he has just drafted. So from that point, I think the one who would be probably behind is JK, but he
yeah,
has that additional purse to take care of.
right. No, but
So fair
even
point
last
on that.
time,
Yeah.
right? So in Pinto's team, I think Fenrir was working on this, like what kind of sales strategies will be there. In Sultan's team, there was Paji, like Hiten. Obviously, Hiten knew very well what kind of sieves and what kind of maps do they want to prepare and play. I mean, if you remember, Water Nomad that they played last time was purely based on like Hiten and Doomster working and telling them what the build orders are and what kind of civilizations to pick. So I don't know if these captains without those players are actually will be able to pull it off that easily, which is why they probably want to go for a player who can help them with the strategies and the map and skill picks.
But do you think the average perception at like in Bombay is the same as you, that like Addu is not as good as some of the other high tier one players when it comes to drafting and like
I mean,
pre-strategizing?
if you can you go to the left bond once? So if we
Yes.
look at the tier one players, right? I mean, obviously, Agent is very good at map drafting and sim drafting. But apart from that, Water Hazard experience because of last time, I think Kappa is also a very good candidate for doing good civ and map drafts. And
Gravity did for Levy last time, so Gravity has experience too, right?
right, but I mean, apart from that, I mean, I don't know others, right? I mean, Addu, we don't know how good he map or civ draft.
So yes, Addu, Plan B,
What
Red
do you think about
Viper,
Link,
Link.
VK?
Yeah.
Like the thing is, Link is not very experienced team game player, right? He is solid 1v1 player.
Hmm.
He's getting the hang, but he doesn't. I don't know how much meta he knows. For example, in team games, it's pretty important to play civs which can play their team bonuses off each other, right? Like you want good combinations or good synergies between civs, and I don't know how experienced Link is with that.
So
But
one
So
of
VK
the
coming,
reasons, just one thing, Valar, I
Bond, you
was
can go.
about to come
Yep,
to you.
please go
I
ahead.
was about to come to you. So one of the reasons I think Valar you won was you as a captain knew all the players in the Bombay with their strengths and weaknesses. So one of the weakness I see in Link is while he will have to lead his team if he has to, he doesn't know what the strengths and weaknesses of not only his teammates but also about the opponent. So while you had a VK in terms of experience and quality as a player, but one of the things was advantage was you knew everybody as a player. So among the tier one, the challenge which I see is probably Omkar, Agent, Water, and Addu. They and Plan B, of course. They have played with everybody and they can give their input. But players like Red Viper has just come back, Link, and Gravity. They have not played much with Bombay players. Do you think that could be a big difference in the bidding amount for them?
Definitely could be like people would not know how Link plays. For example, he has played like 200 games. I don't know. But I guess like they can always reach out to other folks who have played here, who have experience to figure out what the bidding prices should be. And given that all the captains have actually played here enough, they know what the bidding price should be for each of the players. And as VK mentioned earlier, like you definitely need someone who can strategize map draft, SIP draft. I know you can reach out to higher elo players who are willing to help and not participating in the tournament with all those things. Of course, it's gonna not be as good as it could be, but I think that's what people can go for if
that
they reach.
that is the best part of Bombay lobby. I can very well and
Yeah,
I'm sure Said will come up here with his inputs. But as a participant, as a low elo player, and as an organizer, I can tell that last time also, including Dragon, Doomster, Hell, and Adu was not playing last time. They when reached out by teams, they were helped by teams. I see no difference this time, and I'm sure people will reach out to you and VK also for this because you guys are not playing. Said what? Which captain do you think needs needs more guidance when it comes to drafting and safe picking as VK announced?
Um, it's hard to judge from my perspective how good they are, but obviously the lower elo players, I think Livy could need a little bit of hand holding with draft. But him buying a higher elo player, like say for example Kappa is very underrated as an all-round strategist and a team player. So like a guy like Kappa could easily offset his like minuses, right? Um, Probably Livy and JK is where I would say would need a
Right.
little bit more guidance. Four plays a lot of tournaments and 1v1, so he gets the idea of Civ draft better. But yeah, that's my analysis.
Legion. Who is your favorite captain among the eight? Just one name. Don't be diplomatic and political on this.
Okay. Probably Fender. I do. Like I have played with him quite a lot recently. I'm still between Fenrir and Morty, but I think Fenrir being in my time zone, so we played a lot together, and
Sure.
that
Perfect. Okay,
fixes
now
it.
let's do one thing. Let's go by each player for tier 1 and tier 2. We'll not get to tier 3 and tier 4, but we'll touch upon them. But let's start with some analysis of players with their strengths, weaknesses, and what price will they go. Allow me to share the other screen and also the captain who should go for them. For the audience and the captain, we do not want to influence any of you. We are just doing some bucker and intellectual masturbation at our end. Don't get influenced by it. Uh, let's start with Addu. This is my rating, by the way. I have set this as out of 10 in my eyes, and I've done this, and I want inputs from the experts. I'll put a number there for both of them. So let's start with Addu. What's the view, guys? What price? I think we have already discussed for Addu.
Yeah.
So we need to discuss which captain probably will go all in for him, and how will you rate him on pocket and flank out of 10? Who wants to take up Addu?
I can
Probably
go
JK.
first. And yeah, I agree, JK. He's the only one, or four. They are the only two people who can afford him, to be honest.
So first JK, second best four. That's what expert will. I think I will agree to that. But if he's going
I
for
think four has a better
2300,
thing.
2400, I
Uh,
think all of them will be very hot on that price. That's my view. And what's the rating? Legion, I want you to lead the rating with Valar
Uh, uh,
on Addu for
okay,
sure. And Water.
I think it's 9.5 pocket and flank 10.
Valar, your views.
So are we not considering maps at all here? It's
Overall,
just
all
gonna be
maps,
average.
15 maps,
Okay.
15 maps.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with 9 for pocket and 9.5 for flank.
Yeah, I think close map flank is not that dangerous. Like Arena Tavares on him can hit him more badly than he doing the
Yeah.
Tavares. So those kind of strategies.
Solid macro behind it.
Yeah.
Pocket, he's not going to play anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
No,
Yeah,
but
put
Hey,
whatever you
Rake
want.
Forest is in the map
Unless it's
pool.
race
Okay.
forest. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And I think on Arena as well, he prefers to play pocket even though he can play flank.
Right.
Uh,
And
yeah.
maybe
so
like, I
so
don't know.
so so the
Give
way
him
I
a
look at it, he may have to play pocket if he goes into someone like JK and there's a Fragistar, because JK and Fragistar can't play pocket. So theoretically, he being the highest elo player, he may have to play pocket also. I believe that based on the team he goes. Because this time
And we
right.
he's
are
not the
as
captain.
and we are assuming he can play pocket. Just kidding. He can play.
At his elo, he
yeah.
may have to, right? That's why I'm saying as
Yeah,
a what will be your rating to him as a pocket?
I think 7.5 is actually, I wouldn't mind a
yeah.
7.5 for him.
Okay,
Yeah, I
say
think
yeah,
7.5.
sorry. 7.5, you all three agree?
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Okay. Said, which captain should go hot according to you on Water?
In water, I would say probably four because he would want a flank player. Four can play himself flank also, but
Hmm.
four is my choice.
You guys want to add another name, second name to it, probably. Fair point. Now comes
the unknown quantity kappa. Why I am
Ray,
saying unknown
one more
quantity?
question.
Yes,
So some people are messaging when will the auction start?
it's
So
in
in like
20 minutes. So we will wrap
20.
it up in like 10-15 minutes, and 9 o'clock the auction starts.
Okay.
So yes, next player Kappa. Kappa an old name on Bombay server, but doesn't like to play with low elo, so he doesn't play much here. Kappa used to be muted, but he has started talking. A talking Kappa can be dangerous. We all know that. But is he as dangerous as water on the flank or as pocket? Kappa, I think, favors to play flank, if I'm not wrong. You guys will know better. All four of you play with him quite regularly.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
Kappa
think
is
he
definitely
prefers
going to
flank.
flank there.
Yeah, I think he prefers flank.
Yeah. So as a flank, we have we have Addu as a flank player, we have Water as a flank player, and now we have Kappa also as a flank. So where will you rate Kappa?
I think it's pretty hard to actually rate a Kappa. Like in some games,
Yeah.
there have been games like the thing is if I decide to give him a lower rating, I cannot forget the 3v3 four legs game in
Oh
which he
my
played
god, yeah.
Portuguese. So like that was insane. His late game is very good. His decision making is very good. Communication is a little so-so, but like his peak is really up there. So I don't know. I think flank
And in
definitely
terms of
can.
like team game sense, like that one needs as a team leader, he is like very solid, right? Even related to like Water and Addu. So he has
Yeah,
to sort of
yeah.
Yep.
leverage that properly. And we'll see if he can do that.
So ninth,
He's very calm under pressure also, which is
so
very
So
ninth.
underrated also.
I
So
think
yeah.
8.5 or 8, something.
Okay,
What do you guys think?
I agree with 8.5.
Yeah.
got it. So
He
we
just
have
can't stick to conventional things. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah, that is that.
That is his
I think that
kryptonite.
is the biggest limitation. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to get something done, right? Oh, you have to
You
build
have
this build,
to
execute this build order. He won't care about it. That's the
yeah.
thing, right?
You have to
so
sugarcoat it into in something that is fun,
Right, exactly, exactly.
so among the captains, uh, let's say a Fender is a flank. So technically, Fender will not like to bid for any of them. Leave the purse constraint out, right? Which captain, if JKN4 goes for the top two, they will not able to go for Cup, I assume. Do we see
Sultan is also a
Sultan?
pocket player, right?
Yeah, Sultan
Yep.
played pocket the last time all throughout.
Yeah, I think
So
Sultan
yes,
is
Sultan
a
and Kappa will
possibility
go
here.
together. Sultan doesn't want to strategize much. He doesn't talk much. Kappa doesn't talk much. They will probably make a good combo. That's the way I look at it. Okay. OS. I think among all the players, OS and Plan B leads the among the tier one who would have played with everybody. I think he brings that advantage with like Valar, like of last time. What happened with OS last time for the audience is he was bought by Modi and Modi had got ambushed, who had to unfortunately for personal reasons pull out and that kind of haywired the team. So I think OS has is someone who will be looking forward to this tournament and do better. OS brings a lot of experience of tournament is like Hiten is what I believe, but where do you see him? He brings I think he's an all-rounder there. He can play, but he's a pocket. Among the tier ones, I think he and Agent will and Plan B will lead the pocket.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a pocket for sure. Um, I think I pretty much agree with the ratings you already have him for him there, like 8.5 and maybe like 6.5 or something.
Yeah, I've not played him seen playing flank, so I
Yeah,
kind of rated him lower. That because
right.
I've not seen it's not on his caliber. Maybe it's on my understanding.
Yeah, I also think 8.5 pocket and 6 flank is fair.
I think his
And
So
biggest
what's
strength is that he understands his teammates and the enemy teammates, like enemy opposition also very well. That is his biggest strength. And that should also not be
so
discounted,
I
right?
think for me he is the Valar of this tournament. Playing a pocket, responsible pocket. If he gets a good flank because he knows the players both in and out. So that Valar replacement.
in this tourney for me from a player is OS. OS is soft spoken. He understands the players. At least I, as a low hero, kind of feel comfortable playing with him. But he is not being that aggressive, and his record in season one was not great. So there are low expectation, but I think he will be the surprise. One of the surprises for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Like we have two columns here, pocket rating and flank rating. But like those are
Hmm.
not the only two things that matter, right? There is
Yes.
like
Yeah.
the team leader ability, which I think is what you're going for. Which I think yes,
Yes.
OS has like high potential in that regard. So it's sort of the wild card potential for him.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
comes the most talked about player after Addu. I think more than water agent. We all know what benefit he got to Pune last time and how much Aragon gives the credit to him.
Not Pune, Hyderabad.
Sorry, Hyderabad. My bad. Pune
Uh,
was talent. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. What benefit he brought. Will agent be sold as the second highest player after Addu? I personally believe that.
Yeah, I also. I mean, I would be surprised if he's not.
I think it should be very close with water. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
think form also matters. I think water is in good form. Agent has been somewhat inactive from the scene for a little bit. I think
but
if
agent is
agent,
completely free now. After tonight, he is completely free. He has achieved
yeah,
the milestone of his life
Yes.
tonight.
Mm.
Sorry,
yeah,
agent, I'm mentioning it again. But let's everybody congratulate agent for getting married tonight. We have a community representative of 6, 7 people already participating in his marriage.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
that's yeah,
Congrats,
nice.
agent, for sure.
Heartiest
Congrats, man.
congratulations, bro, from the Bombay AOE community to your on your marriage. Come back and win the tourney so that you have two trophies.
Yeah. I mean, this time at least he should win, right? I'm not even playing. So, I mean, that's
Wow.
like this time he should win. I mean,
Okay,
also,
now,
I
yeah,
mean, the like because even if you think about supply demand, right? Plain simple supply demand, there are very few top tier pocket versus top tier flank, which is why I think that agent should be sold for a very high price. Because apart from
yes,
agent, who are like top tier pockets, right? Red Viper is there, agent
OS,
is
Red
there,
Viper.
OS,
Omkar,
OS.
OS, Red
Omkar is
Viper.
there. Yeah. So I mean,
Red
Red Viper.
supply
Viper.
demand itself, it's very clear that
So Red
agent should go
Viper
high.
for me is a distant third because OS and agent can play with the captain, the team, the low elo. Red Viper have been off the scene for a year, and Red Viper nomads is a big risk like you, VK.
Yeah, Red
So, so
Viper.
let's move
Yeah.
to Red Viper first and complete the
There's still
pocket
some more
part of
time,
it.
right, for him to.
Yeah, I'm saying we'll come to Plan B, and Plan B is also a pocket player, but let's finish with Red Viper since his name came up. Red Viper, a pocket, but he hasn't shown carry attitude so far when it comes to leading the team. Unlike a lot of other tier one players. What do you guys think? Does he need a captain like Fender and Morty so that the pressure on him is low?
I think he'll really shine with someone like Morty, Captain. Is like I think like he's really good at execution. He's really good at open maps. So like he can just carry his side on his own, even like regardless of whether he's with Morty or with like a different flank. But like let's say closed map strategizing, I don't think he would want to do that, and so he probably want to outsource that to someone else,
So
Yeah,
so
I
so yeah.
second
So
that.
I think
or even like water maps. But yeah,
yeah. So I think Red Viper. I also personally believe that he'll be better with someone like a Morty or a Fender, the best out of it. Again, doesn't mean, but yes, he will do well with somebody else if that person is
Dead Cops
thinking
also
again.
is a very hot
Yeah,
like captain for like Red Viper because they have played before and they understand each other well also.
yes, very well said,
Yeah.
said. Now said, I will come to you with Gravity. You have played with him. We all know how much he wants to win and whatever all he can do to win. But what do you think, Gravity? Where will you put Gravity in terms of hotness in tier one, and who do you think will go for it? Will Levy bid for him?
Probably yes, because last time, even though the team underperformed, they had a good experience with each other, I would say. Gravity, I might be a little bit biased because I played with him, but he has a good fundamentals of the game, and his drafting is also improved compared to the previous tournaments with which other people might have faced him, right? So I think he's an overall good buy, and he has the ability to lead and play with the lower elo players because there is that elo disparity over here, and in these kind of situations, it's a good ground for him to shine, I would say.
And do you agree with my rating on him?
Um, Pocket, I would say 7.5, but overall, yes. Just a point
VK
five difference,
Valar
right?
said Gravity,
Uh,
you guys know him well.
I think Gravity's main issue is that he can be inconsistent. Like the thing is, if you like, there are some like for example, he can actually beat Abdu on flank, and he can just micro the shit out. And if it is his day in micro, there is no one on this list who can beat him. Like he's really that good. But the issue is
True.
that he's inconsistent, and his macro is a little questionable. So it's like high variance.
Is it
It's
is
a
it
high variance
fair?
build.
Is it fair to say that he has capability of self-destructness
I
at
don't know
times
what
because
that
of
means.
overconfidence,
I
because
don't know
of
what. That,
He does Bakchodi, let me put it honestly. But in terms of inside the team, not probably not. Yeah.
okay.
the also just like what Legion mentioned, even Gravity has a very specific map pool that he's comfortable with. Like he doesn't like to play close maps as much, and like I don't think he also understands it that well. Like what kind of strategies will work because he's a very micro and execution like intensive player rather than like late game ish. That can I think that's also like a problem.
Fair point. Uh, let's come to the favorite boy of the Bombay lobby, Plan B. Plan B, many here will believe that he is not worth the ELO 1600, but he has won, he has stated this ELO in Bombay lobby. But when it comes to brutal, he faces the burn. But he is a champion when it comes to playing with or against mid and lower elo. And most of the construct of this tournament, as highlighted by VK, is that. So can Plan B defend his reputation of being a tier one player? Valar, you have played a lot with him. I want to start with you.
I have like very mixed reviews for Plan B. There have been games where he just outshined and performed so well that I was surprised. But I have seen some games, and one that comes to my mind is Byzantine Pocket Fast him at 23 villagers, 24 villagers. So I think he's very, again, there is a variance in his performance across the maps and games. But I guess 1600 Elo is justified because he has been there for quite some time in Bombay lobby.
And I think he is equally good and bad in all maps. He is not map dependent, unlike a lot of other tier one players.
Yeah,
That's
I
something
agree.
which I'll put to him. VK, your views.
I think, I mean, I don't know. I think, yeah, I also have mixed reviews again. Yeah.
I
The
think
thing
that's
is
true
that,
for everybody about him.
yeah, because he has not played much with me, to be honest, like not in brutal lobbies and all. So I don't really know that well. Like, so it's hard to say. But yeah, some of the experiences that I have, he gets tunnel vision sometimes, like when armies come to his base and all, and he forgets that it's a team game, and like it can be then hard to play with a player like that.
So my I hope one thing, one observation, because I watch a lot of stream of a lot of players. Plan B, when the game goes south, he just stops making villages. So one of the things with a lot of players in Bombay is they boom back very fast, and that's a sign of a good player. I think Plan B lacks that. That is the why probably will have a mixed review. Said, who do you think will go for Plan B the hottest?
I'm not so sure because I think in the list of tier one players, he's probably the lowest rated. I would rather say that for the captains, if their plan A doesn't work, they can go for plan B.
Nicely said. Legion, we are running out of time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we'll have to end with tier one. So, last player in tier one, Link. I think you, VK, and Valar would have played most with him. Bombay lobby players don't know much about him. Other than Fenrir, a lot of captains also don't know much about him. So, a quick bucks from all three of you, starting with Legion, about Link. His strengths, weaknesses, where do you see him
Yeah, I think
contributing?
again he's again a wild card sort of player, high skill. His team game sense hasn't fully developed yet. So and like the thing is, so there's like nine tier one players and like eight captains, right? So there'll be one captain who gets like two tier one players. And so
Yes.
if someone gets like link
At least
with
one
let's say
captain.
plan,
Let's
yeah,
say
yeah,
at least one
at
captain.
least one captain, right?
Yes.
And so let's say if someone gets like link with plan B, like two low tier one players, then that's probably a solid combo. Because Link likes to play flank, he's like good execution. So I think something like that has a possibility to really work out well.
VK, Link about Link to the captains and to the audience.
Yeah, I hope Fender gets linked. That's it.
For the
Point.
love. So like the KJ Pinto love of
For the
season
synergy.
one, this could be the love story of season two.
Yeah, I mean, why break it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it would be so much
Yeah.
fun to for everyone to see them play together.
Sorry, I'm getting some feedback that there's something wrong with the stream.
uh,
Is Modi not here?
no, you should just move the cursor and update the stream. That's it.
Okay.
It has been stuck for that. Because you have not updated anything or moved the cursor, it looks like it's
Modi,
stuck.
can you do that? It might be AFK. Modi, please do that if you are listening to us.
Okay, I think it's fine. I think this is that you weren't doing anything with the spreadsheet.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
got
fine.
it. It was about me. Sorry. Okay. VK. Sorry. VK, you are talking about Link. Please continue.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying that I hope that Fender gets linked.
Yeah, Fenrir love, right. So, Valar, do you think about Fenrir, about Link? Like Latkor said, if I don't play with water last season, I will rather not play the tourney. Do you think Fenrir will lose the interest to play the tourney if he doesn't get Link?
I don't think the feelings are that strong here, to be honest. They will play the tournament, but yeah, they are compatible with each other. They have played a lot together. So it would be nice to see how it turns out in the tournament.
But is Link a pocket player or a flank player, typically?
I think he can play both the positions. He is good at communications, strategizing,
Modi.
execution, obviously. So I think he can play at both the positions. And he's a strong 1v1 player, so
Hello,
that's
Modi.
that.
Yeah, so the advantage is probably he can defend one end very easily if his pocket or his flank has to go on the other side.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. One more player, he has been off the record for some time because of lack of system, personal life, but he needs to be discussed before we go offline. We have last 2 minutes. Bomber, for the benefit of the captains. I leave again to all of you because all four of you have played with him.
Yeah, I
Just
think
some
Bomber
input
played
to the
really
captain.
well in pocket. But yeah, as you said, he's been not too much in practice recently. So I'm not sure how that is playing out for him. I've seen some, again, very recently, some good games, some bad games from him. But yeah, I hope he gets back into form.
Does the elo justify when he is in form, or is it too low elo when he's in form?
I think it's
He
slightly
also
lower. But yeah, go on. I think that's all I have to say.
he also
Okay.
has a little bit of high variance with respect to his gameplay, I would say. But he has a high skills gap also. So if he is able to capitalize on that, and in that 2 weeks, if he's able to improve, then probably yes.
Got it. Final words, VK, and then final words from Valar, and we'll end it because we need to start the auction soon.
Yeah, I think Bomber just needs to warm up properly now. Like if he gets into his rhythm, because actually he's a pocket carry player. Like I specifically remember a tournament which was going on where he and Afterlife were playing. It was Scandinavia and he was Berbers. They were losing the game and he solo carried their entire team. They were literally losing. Afterlife's base was wiped out. And
I
he said, no,
remember
no,
that
don't
game.
resign. And I remember that game very well. So I
Yes.
think Bomber, like for his, like he's tier two, right? So I think within that tier, he can be probably the best pocket. I mean, obviously there is Wrong, who is also an amazing player, but Bomber is solid if it's his day. So I hope that, he is able to catch the rhythm and we get some very fun pocket play from him.
So, defending champion, no chance when it comes to fantasy. Will Bomber be part of your team?
Definitely. Bomber
Well,
and Red Viper are both going to be part of my fantasy. It's very
well,
simple for me, right? I always back my friends. That's it. Plain
perfect,
and simple logic, nothing else.
perfect. Well, our final comments and we'll end this.
I agree with what Nochan said. Like Bomber can be really good at carrying the games. And even though people are saying he's out of touch, and we recently played a game with him where he just like played so well that he could hold on 2v1 on his side. So I agree that he is definitely underrated. And with tournament preparation, he can definitely outperform whatever rating he has right now in Bombay Lobby.
Perfect, guys. Thank you for coming together. I hope the audience and the captain like the input shared by our experts. It was fun talking with you guys, and I thought I will able to cover tier one and tier two, but so much was fun that we ran out of the time. We'll come back with other experts, but before that, auction in next 10 minutes. Stay around, guys. Thank you for coming along for this roundtable, and thank you VK, Legion, Valar, and Sid for being with me on this.
Yeah, pleasure
And
to be here.
special thanks to Modi, who has been silently broadcasting this for us. Me and Modi as co-admins along with Sultan, Lucky, OS, and Sefi. Thanks every audience to be part of it. Hope you are around for the auction. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Good luck.